The recipe looked normal at first. Flour, sugar, butter, salt. Then, at the bottom, written in smaller text like it didn't want to be noticed, one zombie. Most players laughed the first time they saw it. That was the point of the game, after all. In Roblox, nothing stayed serious for long. The kitchen was bright, colorful, almost cheerful. Zombies shuffled in from a side door like overcooked extras. Easy to catch, easy to drag, easy to toss into a waiting pie tin. Bake or die. Simple. At least, at first. The zombies didn't fight back. Not really. They moved slowly, arms out, heads tilted, like they were confused about being there. You could grab one, drop it into the dough, cover it, and slide the whole thing into the oven while the timer ticked down. Ding. Perfect pie. Golden crust. A little steam curling out the edges. Win the round. Move on. But something changed after a while. No update screen, no warning. Just a different kind of quiet. The kitchen still looked the same, but the sounds didn't match anymore. The ovens hummed lower, heavier. The timer felt louder, like each second was landing harder than it should. And the zombies, they started watching. At first, it was small things. A zombie turning its head a little too precisely. Another one stopping mid-shuffle to face a player directly, even across the room. Their movements weren't random anymore. They were choosing. One player noticed it before anyone else. They went for the usual routine. Grab a zombie, drag it to the counter, prep the pie. Easy win. But when they reached out, the zombie stepped back. Just one step. Slow. Deliberate. Okay, the player muttered, moving forward again. The zombie stepped back again. Not fast, not panicked. Like it understood the game and didn't feel like playing. The timer ticked down. Other players kept going, grabbing different zombies, tossing them into ovens. The room filled with the usual chaos again. But the one that stepped back didn't move anymore. It just watched. The player ignored it and grabbed another zombie instead. This one didn't resist. It went into the pie tin, got covered in dough, slid into the oven. The timer hit 0. Ding. The oven opened. The pie looked perfect. Too perfect. The crust wasn't just golden. It was smooth, stretched tight, like something underneath it was pressing outward. The player leaned closer. The surface shifted. Not a bubble, not steam. A shape. From inside. They stepped back. Behind them, something scraped across the floor. They turned. The zombie that had stepped away earlier was gone from its spot. Now it stood closer. Much closer. And its mouth was moving. Not wide. Not snapping. Just moving. Like it was trying to form words it hadn't used in a long time. The player backed into the counter, bumping the oven. The pie behind them thumped. Once, then again. The crust split slightly down the middle. A thin line. Something inside pushed against it. The kitchen lights flickered. Every zombie in the room stopped moving. At the same time, they all turned, not toward the players, toward the ovens. The thumping spread. One oven, then another. Then all of them. Thump, thump, thump. Like 100 fists knocking from the inside. The pies began to crack, edges lifting, crusts tearing. And from inside, movement. Not slow, not confused. Hungry? The first one broke free with a sharp split, the crust peeling back as something pushed through. A hand. Pale. Coated in dough that stretched and snapped as it moved. Then another. And another. The kitchen filled with the sound of tearing pastry and something dragging itself out of places it was never meant to fit. The player tried to run. but the doors were gone. Where the exits had been was just wall, smooth, unbroken. The timer didn't reset. It changed. 1 o'clock. A new message appeared above it. Fill the pies. The player shook their head. No, that's not... Something grabbed their arm. Not rough, not sudden. Slow, careful. They looked down. A zombie stood beside them. Not one of the new ones. One of the originals. Its grip was steady. Intentional. Its head tilted slightly as it looked at them. And for the first time, it smiled. Not wide, not broken. Just enough. As if it finally understood the recipe. Around the room, the others began to move again. Not chasing, not rushing. Working. Clearing counters. Opening pie tins. Preparing space. The ovens glowed hotter, deeper red, their low hum returning like a breath being drawn in. The player pulled back, but more hands reached out. Guiding, positioning. The message flickered again. Ingredient ready. The last thing they saw before the screen cut to black was the inside of an empty pie tin. Waiting. When the next round started, the kitchen looked normal again. Bright lights, clean counters, fresh players running in, laughing, grabbing ingredients. And on the counter, neatly arranged, sat a row of perfect pies. Golden. Still warm. If you looked closely, just for a second, you might notice something under the crust. A shape, pressing lightly upward. And if you stayed very still, you could almost hear it. A soft knock from the inside.